Welcome to the Narrowboat that James built. Hope you're well, thanks for joining me. Well, today's Christmas Eve, so a couple of days off is in store, so that'll be very nice. There is a bit of work to do on the boat today. I need to carry on with the bow bedroom, laying the CLS on top of this tank, and then some uprights going across, and then some more CLS going across. So I'd like to make those two layers really if I can, before I down tools for a couple of days. I don't know if you can make that out very well, but this is my plan for the bow. So there'll be a step there, that will be an access panel to access the tank, which is sitting behind this piece of wood here. That's going to be the only bit of floor you see. You see there I've drawn in the extra bit of floor and the batten going across. That's the only extra bit of floor that you'll see in between the bed and that step. Really the steps are there to block in some of that gap I've got there, but also to make it easy for some of the little ones to access that area, and also for other people maybe, because that's going to be, well, it's going to be easier to get there, but certainly for the little ones that'll be a quite nice little step thing, but more importantly it will block in a bit of a problem area for me. And then there's going to be a height there, I haven't quite worked that out, between the top of the bed frame and the top of the plinth for the bow bedroom area, but that's kind of as good as I can draw it really. Right, so I'm going about now attaching the CLS from one side to t'other. That one is sitting just above the tank, which is what I wanted. See if I can get the line there. You can't really see it, but it is just above the tank. There you go. So I'm going to now cut the next one along, which is going to sit on the other side of the tank. It's worth mentioning when you're buying timber, certainly important structural timber like this, it's important when you're selecting it from the shop that you buy one which is straight and true. I had to buy 5 runs of this, and I probably went through about 15 in the shop to get 5. So it's worth doing, because if that's got a big bend in it, that's not going to work. And by comparison, look at this one. I know this is only a thin batten, but look at the bend in that. Right, so the 3 pieces are now cut. They're not affixed in yet, because I need to trim the edges to get a bit of a better fit, certainly on that end one at the end of the bow. But that's quite an encouraging sign. And they're exactly as they should be that way too. So now I can work out a way. As I said, I'm going to get a couple of uprights coming up to this one, that one, then a couple of crosses to that one there, and again to that one there, and create like a grid form. Then I can put some ply down, 18mm ply, cut some holes in it and sort that out, and then kind of either stilts or something like that, and then another layer above there. Yeah, I guess it would be stilts, because then I can create some storage units. So stilts and then panels nailed onto the side of the stilts, I'm guessing. Anyway, I'll work that out. So I just put in another member going across there, and this is a very good sign. They're all flat on there, so that is flush against all 3, and it's showing just where you'd want it to. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that one in there, but I just really wanted to do it just to get the line right. After a bit of consideration, I've decided to lay the CLS fat ways. It gives a better fixing, an easier fixing to the battens at the side, and it makes it easier for me to put cross members across, and it reduces the overall height by, well, not much, but like everything on a boat, you haven't got much to play with anyway. So to coin a phrase, every little helps. To help me out with some of these fixings I'm going to have to do in the bow, I've bought some, well, these are for the bed, for some uprights that I might need. So they're fixed onto the floor, and it gives you a true 90, well, if you fix it onto a clean floor, it gives you a true 90-degree upright. But it's something nice and easy to affix onto the floor. And these ones here, just some small 90-degree brackets, plenty of fixing holes. Those are for the to kind of fit the uprights going up from the cross members going up. So it just makes it easier than screwing onto a side or anything like that. I know there are other options, and you can get one of those angled jigs and things, but I wanted to go for a bit of strength as well, and these provide that. They've got that little ridge in it there, so you can't bend it. That can only go to 90. So anyway, got a bunch of that. I've now put in these two uprights there, which are fixed into the angle iron at the bottom. They go up and fixed in with that. The reason I've changed this a bit and set that back is because the plinth separating the bed from the tank is going to be at this level, and if I'd sat it forward, I'd have lost 63mm on this side, which isn't much, but if you think my wardrobe is only going to be 300mm wide, so 63mm is actually quite a lot of a saving. So now I can have a slightly bigger wardrobe because of that. I've now put in two uprights drilled into that angle iron, and then across into the floor, or beneath the subfloor, because in this area here I'm going to need a bit of floor that you're going to be able to see. In this area here, that is going to be underneath the bed, and one of the drawers and storage will be above that, but ideally I'd like it to have some floor beneath it, so if there are wheels or anything like that, it's all quite level. This bit here doesn't really matter about, you're not going to see that. And then at the back, you'll see I'm just mocking up. It's not the right height obviously, but using those brackets, and that's going to come up to another one going across there, and that's going to give me some uprights that I can affix some of the pipe work to. I'm also getting delivered some vibration pads, and what I'm planning on doing is making a soundproof, vibration proof box for that to live in, the water pump, because it makes a bit of noise and it vibrates. So I'm going to try to cushion that as much as I can. So I'm not really going to fit any of that stuff in until I've got them and I can work out how best to fix that in. But it's certainly going to need some uprights to affix the pipe works to. So that's pretty much the bow as I'm leaving it. At least some work's happened around the tank, starting to get boxed in, which is good. Starting to get a feel for what it might look like and the heights of things. So that's quite helpful to help me plan over Christmas. Well, that's it really for today. I've got to pack up my tools and get myself sorted, but I'm happy with how this has gone in. This is all kind of working as I envisage it. It's given me a bit of food for thought for the couple of days off. But yeah, that's good. I really need to put in the bit of floor and then start building that. But if you've got any comments or feedback about my plans for any of this, then please let me know. Some of the eagle eye amongst you would have noticed that the tank floor isn't, this line here isn't level with the floor. The reason for that is because we just needed a bit more gap on that side for the tap and the gubbins for the tap. So it doesn't matter because it's gonna be, well, it is secured in place, but the actual frame around it is obviously all going to be square and true. But yeah, I'm happy with that. The fact that this has made some starts, and when I come back before the new year, then it means that I can just carry on doing this and then fitting out the bedroom. Obviously we're going into TIFF, or we're in TIFF 4 I think it is, or 3 or something, or 4, I don't know. but I think still some of the places that I need will still be open. I think that chandleries as well are considered essential shops or retailers, so that's quite handy. So I can still keep things like my calorifier and bits and pieces like that. There's a few planning videos which I'm going to do over the Christmas time. So one is about electrics, one will be about gas and electrics and heating, and my plans for, obviously it's not on the water, it's now Christmas and it's not on the water, so you know, I'm behind, which is a bit upsetting, but other things have changed as well, so it's not the end of the world. I've got a couple of weeks really in the new year that to get some of the works finished. The stern gland isn't done yet. That will probably be done by the 4th of January is when we're going to get that in. We've just been let down by people, essentially, is what's happened. So that's just one of those things. You know, it's not the end of the world. Rather that than go into the water with a big hole at the back. So that's the 4th of Jan. So really, the target now is to get a crane for around the 8th of Jan, get it in the water, and then the week of the 11th will be the week that we sail down to London. That's the plan anyway, but we'll have to see how that kind of unfolds. As I said, there's some updates to do with regard to the gas and electrics, and some of that will take into effect as to when we can launch. So yeah, that's kind of it for this one. I just want to obviously extend my thanks to you all, because over the last, what's it been, two and a half months, the support I've had from you guys has just been overwhelming. I've never done anything on YouTube before. I never really knew what to expect. It was all meant to be just instructional videos and useful content for people doing up narrowboats. I didn't realise that I'd get following from kind of all around the world, and people showing an interest in it, and you really have shown an interest in it, and you've helped me out so much. You've pointed things out to me which I didn't know and which I was going to make mistakes on, so it's been invaluable, it really has, and for that I'm really, really appreciative. But moreover, it's just so good to have the company, if I'm honest. That's the main thing. It's just the whole process of it is really fun. I love doing the boat, but having you guys alongside and kind of looking over my shoulder, it's also keeping me at my A game. I can't really cut any corners or do things incorrectly because I'm going to get called up on it, and that's good. I need to be kept at my A game, so that's really good. So thank you. I really hope you guys all have a very safe and merry Christmas. As I said, there will be some content coming out, so if you are unfortunately on your own over Christmas and weirdly I and this channel are keeping you somehow amused or entertained, then fear not, there will be some videos coming out, and I'll be back on the boat sometime before the new year. As I said, I've got to do another boat in London as well, so I might show you some of that. That's a what we call a yogurt pot, which is basically made of plastic, so that'll be fun. So have a very good Christmas, enjoy yourselves, take very good care of yourselves. Until next time, bye bye. First time I've ever locked that.